All right. So, what's new today? And something interesting I looked into. This is the US Canada bridge called the Gordie Howe Bridge, right? It opened today. And I looked into this and how people would even cross this portion of the river, like through history. Crazy. I'm telling you, it's so crazy because like during the prohibition time, like during like slavery, how like people cross this. I have an amazing episode for you. Okay, so this the bridge opens today and it's called the Gordie Howe Bridge. Uh it's an amazing bridge if you actually think about it. I do have this is their official website. If you actually look at it, it has multiple lanes. Where were the details? I think I saw them somewhere here. Mm, as you can see, like multiple lanes. It's really good. Like it's a really, really good upgrade. Really good upgrade. But now, let's go back. Gordie Howe. Why this name? So this guy, an amazing hockey player. So he was born in 31st of March. And unfortunately, he's passed on. He was like an amazing Canadian professional ice hockey player, and he won a bunch of trophies. He was born in Saskatchewan, in Canada, and then he later on went and played for a team in Detroit. And like he was so good, he's just in the legends, in the legends. And that's why, like, even today, the first people to actually cross the bridge were his family and his descendants. They were like the first ones, which is kind of like a nice touch to it, a really nice touch to it. So this is where it is, right? This is where that bridge is, right? And definitely, as you can see, this is the Detroit River separating uh US and Canada. And this place, $300 billion a year of product moves across, like of trade moves across. And because of just in time trade, just in time trade is the scenario where you're not, just in time inventory is the scenario where you're not keeping a lot of your inventory and just holding it. Like you don't have a warehouse where you're keeping all the parts and then when it's ready, you actually use them, especially like when we're thinking about uh, vehicle production, right? Because this entire area good with vehicle production because US and Canada are so close and they're all creating and making different parts. So just in time is a scenario where when I'll be needing that brake pad, that's when it's arriving. I don't have an entire warehouse keeping all the brake pads and things like that. So like this really improves the trade, like fully improves the trade. But it's 21 hours. That's my computer reminding me of the time. And as you can see, this has changed. But anyway, so amazing bridge connects the two areas. But here's the history now. Before this was constructed, we have people used to cross this like using ferries and boats. And as you can see, it's a fairly big chunk of area. This is like the smallest bit that people could cross, but the entire area, like people needed during those days, it was mostly boats and ferries, and then ferries got introduced, and it was amazing. Uh, People were able to cross and all that, but then as we approach the 1920s, 1920s, we have the uh, an underground uh, tunnel that gets built so that vehicles could actually go because, like trade is booming and all that. So vehicles could actually go under, and it's amazing. It's amazing. By the time like we get here, so like this is how like right now we have these big machines. Like if you look at the Boring Company, like it's just digging and grinding through the rock as it goes under. This is how they did it in the 1920s, and it's actually so cool. They continue like with section installations, and then I have an amazing grand opening in the around 1930s. But now, as this is happening, also there's another. This was actually the first underground uh, connection between two countries, right? That like a vehicle tunnel that was connecting two countries. But then above it, not literally above it, but on the skies, we have the Ambassador Bridge. So this is a privately owned bridge, right? It was being constructed around the same time, like in a period of 10 years, you end up having an amazing bridge above and tunnels below. So this is around 1920s, 1930s there, and it's the first suspension bridge. So yeah, gets all its flowers and all. It's really amazing for its time. Like you have like two lanes going each way, and it fully improves the trade between the two countries because now you have underground, now you have this. But before we even get here, you know, a few things had happened during this period. Uh, do you guys know of the Prohibition? This was a period between 1920 and 1933. This is before the bridge, the underground, all that. The underground vehicle tunnel has been built. Uh, the Prohibition, like, was a scenario where US is like, no more booze, right? Actually, the Prohibition era was the period between 1920 and 1933 when the United States prohibited the production, importation, and transportation and sale of alcoholic beverages. So this is the US, right? Let me go back to the map. This is the US. Uh, this entire side, prohibition. This entire side, the Niagara Falls and the likes, they can produce alcohol. Canada doesn't have prohibition. So what happens? People can't produce alcohol in the US. Canada is just producing like nothing stopped them, yes? So you find that people would cross this this portion of the river, the Detroit River, just to go and buy alcohol. So there's a group, do I have it here? The rum-runners. So people would use boats and just cross so that they're able to get the alcohol. And like that time, it was wild because like police were just always chasing people and all that. So this a few of the remnants are like in the National Museum of the Great Lakes. So I can leave the links in the description and you can read all about it. But like it was just crazy. But then during the winter, because people drank summer and winter, so during the summer, boats and all that, always just in the night, people like amateurs and professionals, you get a boat, you're becoming rich. You're actually becoming rich. So uh during the winter, people would strip down their vehicles so that they're light because the river will freeze. This river will freeze. So during the winter, they will strip them out. And then after stripping them out, what do? They drive lightly on top of the river. It's ice at that time, right? They drive and then fill it with booze and then drive back. Canada, the uh the the distillers in Canada, those guys were making money. Like alcohol production, it was booming. Like if you actually had business at that time, a whole market has opened in the south. And it's just money at that point. It's just money. Then, this Detroit River actually, when you it has also another bit of history. So, uh, the Underground Railroad. So during slavery, uh, in the U.S., like Canada doesn't have slavery, so like the Underground Road. Let me actually tell you, the Underground Railroad was an organized network of secret routes and safe houses for fugitive slaves to escape the abolitionist Northern United States and Eastern Canada during the era of slavery in the United States. Uh, yeah, so this part of the river was called midnight because it was called the midnight station. So people, as they would move, this is the map, as they will move through different places, they will end up, I believe this is where it is, they will end up in Canada, and that is freedom. So like this river has history. Like right now we're thinking about trade, like in the 1920s it is booze, and yes, people would actually cross and all that. And yeah, so uh that is a little bit of history, which is really really amazing. So we get to now, uh Ambassador Bridge, right? It's been constructed and it's privately owned, so these people are making bank because yeah, you're the only piece of infrastructure that is being used to connect two countries. And at that time, vehicles are being made like actually 30% of all US Canada trade moves through this river. So you can imagine how big and important the Ambassador Bridge is. And if you own it, of which it's owned by the Moron family, if you own it, you're good. So 9/11 happens, right? Sadly, 9/11 happens, and people in the government and good thinkers are like, yo, what happens if this big piece of infrastructure is actually attacked? It's like the biggest, most important infrastructure between US and Canada when it comes to trade. What if something happened to it? Do we have an alternative? So like we can't have just one infrastructure and it failing and all of a sudden things go bad. So they start thinking about a different bridge. But now, because this is privately owned, right? They wanted a scenario where we have something that is publicly owned and it's the governments that make money, it's the governments that control it and all that. But I'm telling you, the owners fought tooth and nail. Like there was a time, yes, there was a time that they even gave fake eviction notices. Like if you looked at the eviction notice of this is in Detroit because like Canada was all for it. So like they were really influencing the people in Detroit so that they do not support this. They wanted a referendum. So they send even fake eviction notices. They look like it's the government that printed them, right? So that they rile up people to go against the construction of the bridge. But we we are opening the bridge today. So if we're opening the bridge today, they definitely did not succeed. So if you actually look at the entire history, like yes, we're getting a bridge open today and it's amazing. But like if you actually go deeper and deeper and look at everything that had been happening throughout history, it's just amazing. This is what I got to look at, to look into today, and wow, I'm actually amazed. So yeah, that's what I learned today, and I hope you enjoyed. I hope you actually learned with me. I rambled through a bunch of stuff. I'll leave the links, except the Google Map one. Yeah, but I'll leave the links so that yeah, if you want to dive into this, yes. And also, yeah, write in the comments if you guys actually think I missed on something, or if you want to correct something, or if you have an interesting story you need me to cover. All right. See you on the next one. Actually, see you tomorrow. Cheers.